Welcome to our first meeting of 2012. Welcome to a new year. I'd like to welcome a new representative. We have a newly elected councilperson here. Rita, welcome.
Thank you.
As the meeting goes on tonight, this is a very procedural meeting, usually the first meeting of the year, because we have elections, we have nominations made for people to run and be council president, vice president, so you're going to get to see all that tonight. So first, we're going to start off with our now president, Shane Barker, leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, after which I will say the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, as we go into the new year, please give us the guidance and the strength to work together to do what's best for the city of Macedonia. Amen.
Amen.
Would you like me to do a roll call because I hadn't done that yet?
Yes.
Mr. Barker.
Here.
Ms. Darrow.
Here.
Mr. Engel.
Here.
Mr. Merton.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Molnar.
Here. Thank you. I have to apologize. I have a little bit of a problem with allergies tonight, folks, so sorry about that. We are now going to move into the procedural part of the meeting and have the election of council officers. I'd like to open the floor for nominations for council president.
I'd like to nominate. By all means.
I was going to nominate Nick Molnar.
I'll second it.
We have a nomination and a second.
Make a motion to close the nomination.
Second.
You guys are just too fast for me. I don't know if it's New Year or what.
The mayor said it was procedural, and we know our procedure.
It was like, all right, here we go.
Okay, so we're all the way through the second. Did you get the?
I
who?
did.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The nominations for president are closed. At this point, we have Mr. Molnar being our new council president.
Nick, it's with great enthusiasm I pass the baton to you, my friend.
I appreciate the votes of confidence from council, and I think we'll do very well this year. Thank you.
All right, now we're going to open the nominations for council vice president.
Mike Miller.
Second.
Are there any other nominations for vice president?
Make a motion to close the nominations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have the council representative to the Planning Commission, which is one of the most important commissions. Do we have any nominations for the Planning Commission?
I'd like to nominate Ken Martin.
Second.
Are there any other nominations for Planning Commission?
I'd like to make a motion to close the nominations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, congratulations to both Mr. Miller and Mr. Martin, and we're moving on to council representatives to Parks and Recs Commission.
I'd like to nominate Shane Barker.
Second.
Are there any other nominations for Parks and Recs?
I'd like to move to close the nominations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, so we've got our work cut out for us, and we've got the people in place to do it. One of the things that we talk about is who will be our committee chairman on council. I don't have that list in front of me. Okay. Just for the record, Josephine, so this gets entered in. for Finance Committee, which is what we're all about. It's up to us to make sure the city stays solvent. Being a finance chair is a very, very important position because you're the man or woman who will call the meetings, make sure that things happen at meetings that need to happen so we can move forward and not go into bankruptcy. And the finance chair is Dave Engel. Dave, congratulations.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you for doing a great job for the past year. The committee is made up by all of the people on council. So in other words, Dave's the finance chair and council is the committee as a whole in order to deal with our finances. Safety committee, we have a very qualified man in that position now, Shane Barker, who would like to remain on the safety committee, chairman. Mike Miller will be on that committee along with Nick Molnar. Safety committee is where we go over all our duties in regards to dealing with our safety forces, and that's important too. There's none of these committees that aren't important. Public Works and Utilities, Dave Engel's the chairman, Ken Martin and Shane Barker are on the committee. Building and Zoning Committee, Ken Martin's the chairman, Nick Molnar is on that committee. Firemen's Dependency Board, Nick Molnar's the chairman, Shane Barker's on the committee. We have the rest of the commissions. There is, I don't know if all of you may be aware of this, but we have a cemetery that is run by 3 different communities, and that cemetery is the Northfield Cemetery. And we have to have a representative from Macedonia that sits on that cemetery board along with trustees from the other near communities. The cemetery board will be Rita Darrow's first assignment. We have a JED board. What is a JED? A JED is Joint Economic Development, and that is what we enter into with another community that is not allowed to charge city income tax. Only a city may charge city income tax. Macedonia is a city. Northfield Center is not. It's a township. But Northfield Center and Macedonia both benefit from having a JED between the two of us. This JED is the properties that are commercial, where Giant Eagle is, Lowe's. All of that is the JED between Northfield Center and Macedonia. The members of the JED board are the mayor, Dave Engel, and Rita Darrow. We'll be coming up with some other committee changes as the year goes on, but right now we're going to move forward with business as usual. The very first thing on our agenda usually is comments by the public. During this session, we would ask that you come to the microphone here at the front and give your name and address. And this is open for public comments. Are there any public comments at this time? All right. We're starting off the new year quietly. All right, we're going to move right into pending and or new legislation, starting with ordinance number 76-2012. 11, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
11.
That's for Ken.
Like to,
Second reading for,
offer ordinance number 76-2011 for its second reading by title only.
Thank you. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a participatory agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation for the resurfacing of State Route 82 from the city's west corporate line to Interstate 271.
All right, we're going to move on to next on the agenda is ordinance number 1, 2012, starting off our new year. First piece of legislation.
And it's a good one here. These first two are real good. I'd like to offer ordinance 1-2012 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance confirming the final appointment by the mayor of Rob Lewis to the position of full-time fire lieutenant.
And what's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post ordinance 1-2012.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Molnar.
Yes.
Ordinance number 1, 2012 passes. Rob, could you please come up to the front? We want everybody to see you, meet you. Rob has been on our force for quite some time. Rob is a catch. This is a keeper, folks.
How can he do painting?
Tim, anything you'd like to add at this time?
No, Rob has done an excellent job. Along with being a paramedic, Rob is also a registered nurse, so it's nice to have an RN on the department. So,
Excellent. Thank you very much, Rob. You have
Rob, he's
anything
gonna-
to say?
he's gonna take a
This is
photo.
your big chance.
No. I grew up in this town. I've been in this town since I was 2 years old. And I had the opportunity to get hired full-time with the department. I started out part-time in 1997 and got the opportunity to become full-time in 1999 and got the opportunity to become lieutenant. So plan on finishing my career in the city of Macedonia. I'm very proud and honored to be a part of this fire department representing the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Okay, moving on to ordinance number 2-2012.
That's for Dave.
Oh, I'd like to offer ordinance 2-2012 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance confirming the appointment by the mayor of Nicholas Zabel to the position of full-time police officer.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we post and pass ordinance 2-2012 according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Barker?
Welcome aboard, yes.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Molnar.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2-2012 passes. I haven't met you, Nicholas, so I'm going to come down there to meet you.
Nick, I understand that you're following the footsteps of your father and grandfather that also were reserves here at this?
Yes, they were auxiliary policemen before I was born, so.
Well, that's great news.
Okay, let's go over here. There's a TV camera here. I want everybody to see how handsome. Do you have people here with you tonight? Okay. You did a good job. Okay, I wish you the best of luck.
Remember that number one job we talked about.
Moving on, are there any other motions or legislative actions this evening?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion authorizing the police chief to accept on behalf of the City of Macedonia Police Department a monetary donation in the amount of $100 from LZ Duty, 1459 Bruce Road, Macedonia, and further authorizing the Director of Finance to reappropriate the funds in the same dollar amount to the Police Department account entitled Discretionary Purchases.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much for that donation. Moving on, are there any correspondence from the clerk tonight?
Yes, sir, I have a couple. A very special thank you to the police and rescue squad that responded to our 911 call on December 3rd. My wife and I are very grateful that we have such a professional team of safety workers in our community. And this is in particular regards to firefighters Chase Rose, Jim Crevar, Mike Jaskolka, and Tim Best, and the family is Don and Sally Elias. This is in regards to recycling program grant gift cards that residents received who follow the green life and really do recycle. And the program is called Get Caught Green-Handed. Dear Mr. Crevar, thank you so much for the $25 Giant Eagle gift card. Again, this came from a grant, and it's not from the city. What a pleasant surprise is to be rewarded for doing the right thing, and to have been caught green-handed. In great appreciation and gratitude, Lenore Solfcheck. This is in regards to service emergency call to Rich firefighter paramedic Rick Kalish, Dave Morris, Rob Lewis, and Brian Miller. To all, thank you all for helping me. You were always very polite and kind. From Eleanor and Mike Cronject. That's it, Your Honor.
Very good. Okay, next item on the agenda is the mayor's report. Just very briefly, I'd like to go over something that is very, very important to this city, and that is maintaining our businesses, bringing in new businesses. And I have just a quick hit list here of some of the things that are still under construction, some of the businesses that are here now that weren't before. So I'd like to share that with you. Still under construction is Aldi's Supermarket. Aldi's should be opening next Thursday, just so everyone's aware. That would be what date? 19th. Thank you. Bennett Supply still under construction, Guardian Building, Macedonia Laser Watch, Nail Excel, Nordonia High School Stadium and Fields. What do you mean, Mayor? The stadium's up. No, the stadium's up, but the fields and all the rest of the things going around it are still a lot of construction to be done. Pacific Steak and Seafood Buffet. Walmart expansion, believe it or not, that's still going on because there's checklists that have to be completed before a project is done, even though you're shopping in it. New businesses, Azing Electronics, Adel Corp., Allstate Insurance, American Freight Company, America's Best Eyeglasses, Better Lettered Signs and Graphics, Cap Flooring, Dave's Cosmic Subs, Dots Final Finish, Gold Guys, Guardian Building Products, Innovent Engineering, Mally's Chocolates, Mattress Matters, excuse me, My Grant Glass, O'Reilly Car Parts, Penn Station, Physicians Hearing Centers, Pinnacle Door Service, Plastic Materials, Precision Hot Rods, Prim Parlor, Puffin Stuffs, Shelley and Sands, Standard Signs, Tails or Wagon, Tanya's Tailoring, TCS Industries, TNT Exterminating, Tuxedo Junction, Verizon Wireless, and Windstream. Those are all the new businesses last year. Possible, coming in, they're talking. Well, this has been going on some time, but yes, Dunkin' Donuts is still talking about coming here. Discount Tire, exterior remodeling and additions, Blackburn Hubcaps, Blue Willow, Western Reserve Grace Church, Western Reserve Administration Building, Time Warner Cable. And while this is all going on, we have people going through renovations, such as Denston Corp., Don Bosch Jewelers, M&M Welding, Outback Steakhouse, Patio Enclosures, Royal Chemical, Simply, Southern Sides, and W.W. Granger on Bavaria Road. All of these things are very, very important because we want Macedonia to be a destination. Not only a destination to come live and have your families grow, but also a destination for people to come to shop, to work, to earn a living, because those are the things that keep us strong as a city. And Macedonia is definitely becoming a destination. A couple of things that are happening, just very, very briefly. I've spoken before about Akron Water. Akron Water would be something that needs to be investigated. Why do I say that? Because people are starting to get sick and tired of paying so much money to Cleveland Water, because Cleveland Water isn't exactly competitive or cooperative when it comes to repairs. I think that if there's a possibility for us to change, and I can bring that before City Council at one point, we need to go after it. How's it going so far? Well, we're not the only ones that are trying to find a better way. Westlake has said they are leaving Cleveland Water and going to go to Avon Lake, Avon Water. Are they going to do this? Well, now Cleveland Water has sent out a whole big bunch of information of why they can't, all right? So now we're going to try and play this a little bit by letting Westlake do some of the groundwork for us. And if Westlake can't do it for all of these reasons, do any of those reasons apply to us? So right now we have a feeler into Cleveland Water saying, what would be involved having if we were to leave Cleveland Water? You have to think that maybe some people think, well, you know, who the hell is this upstart city that says they might not go with Cleveland Water? Yeah, you could maybe say that, but maybe we're sending a message to the rest of the world that if there's a better way to do it, and if it is affordable, and if it'll present a savings to our residents, we need to look at it. We need to do it. As far as Route 8, Route 8 always has been a limited access highway. This highway was built originally on what was left of the Northeast Ohio railroad system, interurban railroad. Very, very interesting story. If you ever go to the corner of Route 8 and Route 82 and take a good look at the brick building that's there by the power lines, that building was a railroad station. And it's still there today, and not many people realize its significance. That building was the Northern Ohio Power Company. The Northern Ohio Power Company created power so that they could run more or less what looked like streetcars. That's what the interurban railroad was. And if you looked down south and up north, you would see arches. And then, of course, the wires that the streetcars would put the catcher on and go on down the track. It's really an amazing story. In the late 1920s, those cars driving through Macedonia were reaching speeds of 50 miles an hour. Well, of course, to us today, that doesn't seem like much, but in 1928, 29, my God, what an accomplishment. There was hell to pay if one of them crashed. They weren't built very well. A lot of people were killed. They went bankrupt in the 30s, and the rail right-of-way for the interurban rail was made State Route 8. So State Route 8 has been around a long, long time. State Route 8 was a limited access highway because they wanted just that. They didn't want people coming on every 50 feet, 150 feet, 200 feet. They wanted cars to be able to drive on that road at a sustained speed. One of the things that did was it made it safer for the time. Well, we had lights almost every quarter of a mile, half mile, and we had traffic that was tied up. Sometimes it was absolutely horrendous. Just a few years ago, 2 years ago, if you were to go down south to go to Akron and you were running right about the time there was rush hour, forget about it. You couldn't go. Now what we have is a brand new interstate and state route intersection. That intersection has taken away the need, we feel, for Route 8 to be limited access. In regards to that, we have meetings coming up very, very soon where I'll be meeting with my staff, with business owners from the crossings, that's where Lowe's are, Giant Eagle, to see if we can get them another entrance. When that shopping center was first conceived, there was a right-in, right-out located just about where the Great Escape is, just before the Great Escape. And that could never be built because it was a limited access highway. Now they're talking once again about, well, maybe we can get this entrance. What will it do? It'll spur new businesses. It'll spur the health of the businesses that are there. So that's just a little update of what we've been doing as far as the city and bringing business in, what we have planned. Businesses like the idea of Akron Water. How do I say that? Why do I say that? Located on Highland Road is the big Coca-Cola plant. The big Coca-Cola plant was using Cleveland water. Not anymore. They switched to Akron water. This is a sign of the times. If we can get more so that we can have our residents have less to pay out of their pockets and our businesses have less to pay out of their pockets, the better off we'll all be. That concludes my report for this evening. Let's move on to, do we have any committee reports?
Mr. Mayor, the Planning Commission met, and we considered a lot split, and also there were a number of signs that were presented to us. I do want to make one comment concerning your mayor's report, and that is Mayor Joseph Miglerini, the former mayor of Macedonia. They were going to tear down that power station, and he had it registered as a historical landmark and was able to save it.
And that's great. You know what? When you look at that building, on the side that faces the east, you'll actually see it looks like a big bay window. And if you look up there, there are windows in that bay part, and they look north and they look south. Try and imagine in your mind people standing up in those windows, looking up and down the track, waiting for the interurban to come. Are there any other committee reports?
Mr. Mayor, Finance Committee will meet next Thursday, July 19th at 7 o'clock to discuss next year's budget. And we'll have an agenda sent out to the next members with further information at the beginning of the week.
Thank you very much. Are there any other committee reports? Hearing none, let's move on to my department heads. Do we have any reports?
Yes, I'd like to, again, remind residents to be sure that their mailbox are in good and sturdy condition to withstand snow and slush plowed from the street, to be able to withstand that without being damaged. The city isn't responsible for snow and slush being plowed into the boxes and doing damage to them. We strike them directly with our plow, we'll replace them, but otherwise it's up to the residents to protect their own property. I suggest a shield which is, there's examples on the city's website, so I suggest that they be installed. Service crews are also currently working on pothole patching, street tree pruning in the park ledge area, and renovations in the police department area of the building. That is to include replacement of some tile floors with ceramic tile and painting of the 2 bathrooms. Also did a installation of a laundry room for the jailer to do some laundry for the prisoners, to try to save some costs on, as opposed to taking it out to a contractor. I'd like to also mention this year that Northfield Macedonia Cemetery, our crews are responsible for plowing that cemetery as needed for services. It's on a 4-year cycle with the other communities that are involved in that. Also like to welcome Rita to her new position on council. Look forward to working with you in the future. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Mike?
Well, Mayor, I think you stole a little bit of my thunder with all the businesses, but the building department is currently working on a new software system. It's at no cost. It's part of our package deal. We're the first city to get it in the state with the ISA system and the upgrades. Andrea and Kayla will be the training the most on the system, and we're going to be used as an example throughout the state for the system. We will have yearly totals on both engineering, zoning, and building, should be at the next meeting. So that concludes my report.
I'm sorry if I stole a little bit of your thunder, but all the people really need to realize that it's your department that keeps all of this going on with the building permits. And when you want to change the style of your store, all of that has to go through very rigid steps with us. Mike is talking about a new computer system. Mike is so well known for what he does that we have other communities contacting us about regionalization of our building. And that's a feather in your hat, pal. Thank you very much. Angela.
Thank you, Mayor. This is one of the busiest times of year at the Recreation Center. We have a lot of new memberships this month. We also have a lot of new Silver Sneakers memberships this month, and I just want to remind everyone, if you're not familiar with the Silver Sneakers program and you're 65 years or older and are retired, your insurance company may pay for your membership to the Recreation Center, and you'd have free access to a lot of our amenities and also to customized classes through that program. Healthways has added a lot of new insurance companies as of January 1st. So if you did not qualify in the past, you may want to contact your insurance company and see if you may qualify in 2012. I see a few of our members out here today, as a matter of fact. So, Shane, I just want to welcome you to the Parks and Rec Commission. I look forward to working with you. I think it's been about
Been a while.
maybe 4 or 5 years when we worked together in the commission in the past. So I look forward to working with you again. Thank you.
Very good, Angela. Scott.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Briefly, I just have a quick summary report about our income tax collections. I'll have a further complete report when we close the budget year for the finance meeting on January 19th. The RETA collection report that I handed out shows a total cash basis of collections of $6,544,242, and that's an increase from 2010 of $694,383. Out of that $694,383, $489,077 can be directly attributed to that 0.25% 3-year tax increase. So without the increase, we still had a modest bump, which is excellent in this economy, of $205,306. Now, RETA reports on accrual basis, meaning that cash receipts that they notice and they recognize in December won't be deposited in our accounts till, as an example, on January 3rd. And they're showing that pending, we had $474,000 that were going to be advanced on January 3rd, which we did receive. But since we report to the auditors on a cash basis, that was the figures that I have, and that's part of our reconciliation. But on the RETA snapshot, our total increase from income tax, again with this 0.25%, we were up 16.8% for the year, which was $975,000. Again, that's factoring in the timing of that last deposit. So overall, we're doing good, and as Rita predicted into the second year of this collections, we should be able to get an additional bump because a lot of individual taxes that were not collected as far as the beginning of this year will be recognized this year. And I also want to thank Dave Engel. He again had the Finance Committee chair this year, as well as last year. It'll be fun to work with him, and again, recognize Ms. Rita Darrow as a new council member, and be interesting and hopefully it'd be fun to work with you this year.
Thanks, Scott.
Anyone has any questions as far as that? Again, I look forward into next week. We'll have a comprehensive report on how we close the year.
Very shortly, we have a Finance Committee meeting coming up, and those are public meetings. The date, Josephine?
Thursday, the 19th at 7 o'clock.
Okay, so Thursday, the 19th at 7 o'clock, that is a public meeting, and it will be where we start to work out our budget for the year. The budget has to be completed by the end of March.
Yes.
All right, Tim?
No report, Mayor.
Okay, in place of our Chief John Golden, who's off today, we have our Lieutenant Yakupovich.
I would just like to thank council for confirming Nick's appointment. We're excited to have him come aboard. And welcome Ms. Darrow as well.
Thank you.
Very good. Joe?
Yes, Mayor, the Northeastern Ohio Sewer District case that we are part of did complete the testimony and final arguments in the middle of December, third week in December. The judge asked for post-trial briefs, which the county is working on, as well as all the other parties that are involved. There has been some discussions for settlement purposes that Mike Todd from the Law Department in Summit County would like to come and talk to you and council about at some meeting where you can afford a half an hour in an executive session. Let me know, and I will coordinate it for him to come in and talk with you. We will also be there as we've been monitoring what he's been doing. The proposal's pretty detailed, and maybe we can talk ahead of time, Nick, and I can give you the outline of it. It's not a bad thing. It's promising, and it's something we should probably want to respond to. Also, I'm happy to deliver tonight as you know, one of the insurance companies failed to pay the full amount of the poles that were damaged. We threatened them with some other case law that they now have given us the final check for the $7,500 they owed, which I will give to finance tonight, and that cleans that up. That's all, Mayor.
That's good. All that's good stuff. All right, we're going to move on. Is there any unfinished business this evening? Any new business? All right, folks, we're gonna, do I have a motion?
I'd like to-
Yes, for executive.
I'd like to make a motion to executive session for the purposes of discussing issues related to personnel.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Is it Ms. Darrow or Ms. Darrow? How do you prefer?
It doesn't matter, Ms. Darrow's fine.
Darrow. Thought about that afterwards.
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
No.
Mr. Martin?
No.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Molnar?
Yes.
You have four.
Got 4 votes.
All right, when council goes into executive session, usually all that transpires when we come back out of executive session is to adjourn. So at this point in time, for all basic purposes, the meeting is over, but not officially. We'll do that at the end of executive. Thank you all for coming. See ya.